So if you're starting a business or starting anything really, um, ask around. Maybe you can find a whole bunch of stuff for low money, or maybe you can actually have stuff given to you. Um, you know, uh, people will, if you tell people what you're doing, maybe somebody has like a desk that they don't need anymore, and you can have that. That way you can save a couple hundred on buying a desk. Maybe you have, maybe you need shelving. Maybe somebody's closing a store, and you can take the shelving for the price of scrap. Pay them scrap price and take all the shelving and get it out of there and save them some work. Everybody wins there, and that way you get some shelving. Maybe you uh, somebody needs some cash, and you can buy some one of their used PCs or something. And there you go there. Um, Boxes, for shipping items. Maybe in my case, a whole bunch of my recycled boxes are going right into a compactor, and I'm able to take them, um, and save money that way. There's a lot of ins and outs of what you can do and avoid an issue there where you're spending money, because if you can save money, you don't have to make as much, that kind of deal. Um, but yeah, it's one of those deals where ask around. Usually there's something. I mean, I'm not saying like there's a limit there between it doesn't make sense to like drive 3 hours away to get something and spend like $60 in gas for something that's going to cost you like $200. You know, because there's a half a day's worth of work there, and there's you know uh, gas money and everything else. Even if it's free, it's still a commitment to go get it. It's not free, but if it makes sense to do that, if the cost to get it is less than the cost of is more. Sorry, the cost to get it is more than the cost of is less than the cost of actually playing around with it. That's worth doing. You know, if otherwise, yeah, cut it out. No need to do it. But always have an ear open, because maybe you'll know. Maybe you hear about an event going on that you never would have found out about if you didn't tell people what you got going on. Um, yeah. Uh, Maybe you find out you've been doing something, and there was already an alternative out there. I've done that. I've built stuff, and just because I didn't know, built stuff, and just because I didn't know, there was already something made for it, or already something similar to that, which would require less modification. Now, it's fun to build stuff, but like, if you can buy something instead of build it from scratch, and it's cheaper, the thing you buy is uh, is cheaper and better quality than the stuff you built, or not quality, just craftsmanship and fit and finish. How about that? Finish is a big one there. Like you might weld some brackets up for a alternator, a custom alternator, because you don't think there's an application for that, but then you find out actually there is, and not only does it cost less than what I spent in steel in time welding it, but there's also it also looks better because it's pressed on a machine, versus welded up and the corners ground off and all that. Maybe there's something like that out there. So it's always good to ask. And these days I tend to always ask AI before I ask anybody else. Just everybody's busy, and otherwise, yeah, ask people, ask groups. Maybe you'll find out. But yeah, ask around. Maybe somebody has a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're just starting out and you need all this stuff, maybe you don't need it. Maybe a desk can be a couple boxes and a board. There you go. There's a desk. Maybe you don't even need a desk. Maybe you can do everything off your bed. Maybe you're living out of a like a 800 square foot 600 square foot apartment. You got room for a bed and a shower and a restroom, and that's about it, you know. So maybe a closet, throw in the closet in there. So I mean, and you ain't got room for a desk. So you're doing everything off your bed. You're like taking pictures and stuff off your bed. You're flat laying off your bed kind of deal to sell this stuff out to your apartment and stuff like that. So you don't even need a desk. But whatever, maybe you find out you can get a a laptop. You know, somebody, instead of spending $2,000 on a laptop, maybe you can buy one used from somebody, or just somebody will give you one for like $100 or next to nothing. You know, maybe, and there you go. You can play around with that. Always be open to just asking. I mean, have a little bit of humility. Everybody starts out. Everybody doesn't start out the gate. You don't want to start out the gate spending a buttload of money on stuff that you might not even use or you might not even need to use. You know. But yeah, there you go. See you guys.